Eingangsstatement.
Thank you, and thank you for inviting me to speak to you today. I think this is a hugely important topic, but I actually think the framing is wrong, because what we're being presented with is a choice that seems like we have to choose either black or white. You're asking us to choose between one way or another to solve this very complex problem. Do we want industrial agriculture or agroecology? Do we want conventional seeds or genetically modified seeds? Do we want to use synthetic fertilizers or organic? And I don't think these are real choices. I don't think these are the right questions. Because when we talk about needing more diversity, more resilience, more sustainability in the global food supply in order to achieve zero hunger, what this requires is more options, not less. So in the concept note for this session, you ask what changes are needed to reduce dependency on food, seed, and fertilizer imports in Africa. But the problem in Africa is not the imports. The problem is that these imports are coming from too few companies and too few countries. What Africa needs is more options to source its food, seed, and fertilizer needs, not less. And this is going to be very country and context specific, depending on the country. Some will require boosting more national production in some of these things. Others will require more trade with their neighbors, and still others will need to source it from global markets. For me, innovations to solve world hunger are to be found in increasing the toolbox available to us, not shrinking it. So I want to share with you 3 innovations that I think can help source food supply to achieve zero hunger and at the same time combat climate change. So innovation 1. We've heard today, Africa, globally, we still face a huge productivity gap in agriculture. So a cow, for example, in Africa, produces on average 20 times less milk than a cow in Europe. The cows in Europe are very productive. The problem is we eat too much of their meat and their milk. So what's the innovation? Well, I was part of a 3-year research project called Series 2030, Sustainable Solutions to End Hunger. And we actually found that there are very simple and cheap solutions that are being overlooked and understudied. Like, for example, using the residues left over after crops are harvested as feed for cows to help it raise their milk production. This is not being done enough and could have really important productivity gains with not much additional investment. The innovation number 2 is about food waste. So we've heard about this again this morning. Wasting of food both at the harvest level because of poor storage and at the consumption level because of poor refrigeration and handling practices. What we know is between 1/4 and 1/3 of food around the world is either lost or wasted. And this is not just waste in Europe and the US. In Nigeria, for example, 500 grams of food is lost post-harvest per person per day. More than 600 grams of food is wasted per person per day at the consumption level. This is tragic in a country where 14% of the people experience hunger, around 30 million people. And we have a situation in Nigeria where tons and tons of fruit and vegetables perish because of inadequate storage infrastructure. There's an inspiring Nigerian entrepreneur who has a company called Cold Hubs. He's trying to raise $5 million in capital to build cold storage units, decentralized, powered by renewable energy across all the fresh food markets in Nigeria. It's a wonderful innovation that helps both improve food security and nutrition by making the more nutritious food like fruits and vegetables last longer, while at the same time reducing greenhouse gas emissions because he's using renewable energy to power the cold storage units. This is a great innovation for BMZ, for the German government to be investing in. My time is almost up, so my innovation number 3 links to our problems that we've been talking about land use, water use, climate change, deforestation. We need to, as we've heard today, take land out of production and restore it back to nature. There's an editorial written by George Monbiot in the UK newspaper The Guardian about a new technology that might just save the planet. And this innovation, it's called precision fermentation. Precision fermentation. It's basically about brewing microbes which feed on hydrogen and methanol to produce flour. It's a method that's been used a lot in the drug industry and the food additives sector. But brewers are now being able to produce flour that's 60% protein, uses almost no land, almost no fertilizer, small amounts of water, and can be produced with renewable energy. Some of the early estimates are suggesting that this approach uses 1,700 times less land than soy and 138,000 less land than meat. Imagine every town in the world with a local microbial brewery that's making cheap, protein-rich foods tailored to local markets and local tastes. Now, we're not there yet. This technology is way too prohibitively expensive, but it's another idea that the German government could be investing in through its green innovation hubs to try and make some of these innovations a reality in the countries that need them most. Thank you.